everyone. So we talked about Switzerland last week, a developed country in the Central Europe. However, it is the existence of those emerging markets, those developing countries, that are attracting more and more attention from people and analysts. So what are emerging markets? Emerging markets are the ones with characteristic of a developed market but not yet fully developed. They have rapid growth and industrialization and are extremely attractive due to higher risk and a return premium. And we picked out the country of Philippines as a perfect example of one of those emerging markets. So let's come and find out what Philippines has to offer in order for us to example what emerging markets are.
The Philippines, officially known as the Republic of the Philippines, it is a sovereign island country in South Asia situated in the Western Pacific Ocean. It consists of 7,107 islands across the whole country, and the capital city of Philippines is Manila. Philippines is also 64th largest country in the world. It has a population about 100 million people, and it is the seventh most populated country in the whole world. The currency of Philippines is also called as Philippines peso. The national language of Philippines is Filipino. Main languages are Spanish, Japanese, Chinese, and also sometimes Arabic. Popular dishes are whole roasted pig, longanisa, beef, omelette, and adobo the chicken. The Philippines is one of the two predominantly Roman Catholic nations in Asia Pacific. From a census in 2012, Christianity consists about 80% of population, where Buddhism is 1.8% and other religions are 3.8%. It is not acceptable to arrive 15 to 30 minutes later when they are invited for a large party. And only the fork and spoons are the typical eating utensils.
So Philippine economies is assessed as one with lower middle income, and it is considered as a developing country. The top industries include electronics assembly, garments, footwear, and pharmaceuticals. The last statistic of GDP stops at 643 billion US dollars. The growth rate is impressively as 7.181%. This is very remarkable considering that all the other developed countries, including the countries from Europe, the United States, or Japan, they have the growth rate of GDP lower or just similar to that of Philippines. The GDP country rank is at 29, which is also pretty high. Services take up the most in the GDP composition with 57.65%. Next up is industry with being 31.12%, manufacturing at 20.4%, and agriculture is still pretty important at 11.23%. Some other important statistic can be listed as the inflation is relatively low of approximately 3%. The account balance has increased steadily as well. It reached the figure of 10 billion US dollar now. The labor force is also increasing with a little shift from doing agriculture towards services and industry more. This is a pretty important factor when considered about emerging market. The overall economic conclusion of Philippines is that it is growing, with the exports being higher than 72.13% of other country. The FDI is higher than 76.68%. GDP growth rate is higher than 87.96%, very high. However, inflation, unemployment rate, and especially GDP per capita still need a lot of improvement. In the near future, the main growth driver of the Philippines is still going to be household consumption and the investment of external forces. Export will also grow stronger due to the support from the US and the European countries. The fiscal deficit keeps falling, plus the sustained GDP growth rate will also decrease the public debt as well. This is another very important factor if Philippines succeed to do this, because even bigger names and bigger countries are still having struggle with decreasing the public debt. Numerous factors, such as increasing of funds from external sources, will make sure that the financial sector stays solid. Philippines' strengths can be listed as the economy very reputed for its electronics industry with over 40% of the exports. Its constant growth in export from the country to emerging Asia, those represented over 50% of export in 2012. The household consumption of the Philippines and external accounts benefit from expatriate workers' remittances. The thriving business process outsourcing sector is also a very important section of Philippines economy. Their weaknesses can be listed as having a low level of investment, especially in infrastructure. There's a huge social inequalities and demographic growth that would affect the economic performance.
Now, we will be talking about Government of Philippines. The Government of Philippines, also known as Philippine Government, is the unitary state of the Republic of Philippines. It is a presidential, representative, and democratic republic where the president of the Philippines is both the head of state and the head of the government. And the elections in Philippines normally happens once in every 6 years. The total exports in Philippines are around 61 billion and imports of 67 billion. Now there is a difference of 5 billion in between import and exports, where imports are more than exports. Most exported goods from Philippines include electrical machinery, industrial machinery, wood, precision instruments, oil, mineral fluids, and fruits and nuts, motor vehicles, and fats and oil. Coming to tariffs, in 2009, the Philippines simple average bound tariff, that is the level that it cannot exceed WTO rules, was 25.8%, while its simple average applied tariff was 7.1%. Now, according to the Philippine Tariff Commission, all agricultural and non-agricultural tariff lines are bound. Products with unbound tariffs include automobiles, chemicals, plastics, textiles, clothing, fish, and etc. High tariffs are imposed on chemical waste, automobiles, automotive parts, etc. And products with high tariff rate have high in quota tariffs ranging from 30% to 65%. Sugar has the highest tariff of 60% and rice has about 50%. The Philippine government also imposes a tariff rate quota on several agricultural products. Since 2002, the Philippine government has maintained an SSG, which stands for Special Safeguard. Coming to export subsidies, the Philippines offers a wide array of incentives: export-oriented investment through export processing zones, free port zones, and other special industrial estates. Taxes, they also have reduced taxes and simplified trade and transaction processes. To qualify for incentives, the enterprises must be 60% or more Philippine owned and export at least 40% of their production, classified as pioneer under IPP. Today, we talked about Philippines and its trade and government and all the business aspects of it. Hope you guys now know more about business in Philippines and how and why is it emerging. This was a presentation by Katrina Ruth, Shruti Renukuntla, and Dan Tran. Thank you so much.